this is Angie from Our Vision. In this episode, I'm going to explain how we have upcycled this 35-year-old scrap quilt. It started out as a scrap quilt that Sean's mom did for us, and it has chicken scratch on it initially, and it has a red flannel back, and this is the very first patch we added, and it was because it had a hole. So Sean's mom did that. I just continued it from there, and it was places we went.
Well, we've made it to the Lincoln birthplace.
National Historic Site.
We're going to go in and see what the visitor center has to offer and, get a patch, get a pin. It
turned into places we've been, and then I started putting patches of state parks and national parks that we've been to. When I initially did that, I just put the patch over the hole, and I decided that I shouldn't do that. So this is a patch of a place we've been, and I have been putting them on fabric with an 80-20 bat and just putting them on there and then adding them on, because sometimes I overlap them a little bit. Over 35 years, it kind of shrunk a little. So in order for it to fit our bed, last year I added a border front and back.
What are you doing?
Trying to add to our quilt and make it bigger. I did broadcloth in the front and flannel in the back, but we were in the process of, we had to do that step before we could replace the back. So I have unpicked the binding so that we can put a new back on it and make it a new quilt so we can put it on our bed.
So that's the next step.
Yes.
We're here at my mom's house.
Yes.
And we are going to
long arm quilt it.
Yes, she's going to set it up on her long arm and put a new back on it.
Yeah, because it's went from chicken scratch to ties to now a long arm quilt. So, it's progressed.
The steps of the traveling quilt.
Yes, definitely.
I'm not exactly sure how many patches we have on it right now. I think close to 50.
I don't know, but we have a huge stack. They just keep growing the places we've been.
So where are we?
I don't know.
We're at the Herbert Hoover
National Historic Site. I just don't know the town.
Let's go in and get a patch and a pin.
And I don't think we have any holes, but you never know. The next time I wash it, it might need another patch. But we'll continue to add these because there's some plainer spots. And there's some spots that are kind of worn out.
So soon it'll have a new, and what kind of a backing are you going to put on it?
It's a flannel plaid. Is that what it is?
Because I'm a lumberjack.
Wow, I don't know. It was pretty.
And Angie's gotten a lot of questions as she's been working on this quilt over the last couple of years in different campgrounds. So we thought we would showcase the traveling memorial quilt. Mommy.
So this is a long arm Gammill quilting machine. I've had it for about 23 years, I think. I've been quilting on it for that long. I'm a professional long arm quilter. I do about 100 quilts a year for other people. Maybe 10 for my family.
I know, we're sneaking this in.
We are sneaking this in, and I'm excited to get it done for them. They've worked hard on it. I have the back on the machine. It's been pinned and rolled tight, and now we're going to put the top on.
So the back's set up, and then the process here is that once it's all put on, Mom will freehand sew whatever design she feels like she wants to attach the quilt itself, the quilt top, to the back of the quilt. Being the son of a quilter, I can tell you that most long arm quilters, and maybe most isn't the right, but a lot of people will set a computer generated stitch, and that's not how Mom here works. She does everything freehand and comes up with a unique design for each individual quilt that she puts on. So with those varying fabrics and all of those seams, a little bit of a struggle getting getting it to go.
It is, but I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I have to tell you, it's interesting to see how the fabrics have worn. You pointed out earlier that this is a piece of upholstery fabric, that it was a velvet that we used on your car, and that was probably in the
What was in the 80s?
80s. And this one over here, this was probably in the 70s. It's a pair of my pants. Wild pants we had then. This one is a piece of upholstery fabric that was in my grandmother's sewing basket. So it's probably 130 years old. And it's held up pretty well.
Okay, so she's done with it on the long arm.
Yes.
And now our 35-plus-year-old quilt has a new back.
Yeah. Now I just need to trim it and sew the bind. Rebind it. Nice. It went from red to blue. Isn't that funny?
The red's still there. It's just
It's
now
just inside.
now it's thicker.
It is. It weighs a ton. It's there.
We like a heavy quilt.
You do. Yeah.
So the process will continue.
Yes, because there's more holes to cover. We found a few more. You know, you stretch it out, there was a couple more. So that's good since we have lots of patches left.